Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 220
and
of At Odds with the Unbreakable Spirit.
the executioner Daniel Travis.
I'm Matthew Smith, aka the Unbreakable Spirit. I'm going to turn my phone off real quick so I don't keep getting random calls during the recording.
Yes,
Anyways, you can see our faces eventually on YouTube. Please like and subscribe, by the way. And we are doing a crossover episode because last week was
wrestling.
NXT Stand and Deliver 2026. So let's
Yes.
tell you the topics.
Number one.
Our first impressions of Maul Shadow Lord.
Yes. Spoiler warning. You have been
Yeah,
warned.
definitely the warning for the spoilers.
Number two.
Number 2 is the results of Stand and Deliver.
Yes.
Anyways, let's talk about Star Wars.
All right. From what because I watched the first two episodes, it looks to be a really insane. Honestly.
Yeah, to me it looks like it takes place prior to Rebel.
Yeah, I don't know how shortly after the Clone Wars TV show this is, but this show's already been confirmed for a season 2. Like, that's already greenlit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I feel like this might take place before in the Star Wars timeline as a whole, before Solo.
yeah, or maybe, yeah, or during.
Well, by the time of Solo, Mob Maul in control of Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, because my theory, I don't know if that Jedi we saw in this episode's gonna be his apprentice. I doubt it. I think she's probably gonna die at some point.
Yeah, I
But
could
I
see that.
But I think because I think Maul is trying to rebuild his underworld empire, but I think his shadow organization is gonna cause so much trouble that they're gonna send in the Inquisitors, and it's gonna cause more trouble that Vader's gonna have to show up.
Yeah, I could see that happening for sure.
But overall, I mean, like, from what we saw, like, the show looks to be, compared to all the other Star Wars products that we've seen, I think this is probably gonna be leaning in to a lot more of the darker side of Star Wars.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I do not see this show being a lighthearted show at all.
Yeah, and as far as I know, this is the first time that we saw Coruscant during the time of the Empire, at least in animation.
Yeah,
Because we all know the only versions of episode 6 that are available of Star Wars are the versions where George added stuff in that didn't need to be, like Coruscant celebrating the destruction of Death Star 2.
yeah. Now, my honest thought is like okay, let's talk about it. I think that I think this episode showed that that I've heard this from the guy that plays Maul himself, is that like this is a different it's still the same Maul, but it's still, it's still the same Maul that we've seen over the years, but it's just he's realizing that it's like, wait, this is what the Empire was? This is what everything was? He's like, he's trying to reevaluate. He sees the bigger picture here. He's trying to reevaluate everything. What do you at the first episode I thought it was a solid start, a solid groundwork, but I don't really know if people are honestly even gonna care about the cop, whatever his name, that's investigating Maul. If he's
Yeah,
even gonna.
I get what you're saying. I don't know his name. But can I just say, some of the clothes for the Star Wars timeline seems a little bit too present day.
What you mean by that?
Like let's take the clothing of the detective you just mentioned. I'll
Right.
probably try to find his name and post it on the screen during editing. But his jacket looked like something I could actually see someone wearing today.
Yeah, I mean, think, cause I find it interesting how in the Star Wars universe, and this is something I noticed watching the show, is that like there wasn't a whole lot of human cops. Most of the cops were robots,
Droids.
droids. But I mean, I thought that was a bit interesting, honestly. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And
And
then
I think, and yeah, definitely, yeah, we definitely are going to put a warning in both the description and on the screen when you say it.
yeah, what is your thoughts on like the first episode as a whole? What is your breakdown thoughts on the first episode?
It was a good, like, setting the foundation episode.
But it also kind of just threw you immediately right into the deep end. It was like, okay, you know Maul, okay, we would they're like, here's Maul,
Hey,
here's what
some
he's
of the
doing.
best stories do that.
True. What I will say is what I like about Maul in this is that like what I like about Maul is that he's so like calm and collected where it's just like he's more he's more like patient with what he wants than we've seen him in what he was in the Clone Wars. He's more is like,
Or
okay, I know.
Rebels.
Yeah, or Rebels. He's like, okay, I know what I want, but I'm gonna take my time to get it. I'm not just gonna rush into things. He's like, okay, I want to rebuild my entire criminal empire. Okay, fine. But let me take care of all these people that betrayed me first.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 1 of the clone of a Bad Batch, I thought had sorry, not Bad
Small
Batch.
Shadow Lords. We're
Right,
not
of
talking about Bad Batch.
uh, I thought Maul Shadow Lord. The first episode was a great start, was a great tone setter, and it showed I think I think this show is gonna show from what I saw in the first episode that this is gonna be a more ruthless Maul than what we previously have seen.
Yeah.
A more it's the same Maul still, but the Maul that's just like, okay, you was like, okay, I'm gonna do what I want now. I'm tired of I thought in episode 2 where it's just
Yeah, I just want to say one thing about episode 1 before
what
we hop into episode 2. I love how when Maul introduced, they had an instrumental version of Duel of the Fates.
Oh, yeah. Good point. I thought episode. Now, what's your thought on episode number 2?
It just jumps you right into the action of the episode.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, cool. You see the previous episode? Okay,
Oh, okay,
let's go.
you just finished the previous episode like 2 seconds ago. Alright, here's episode 2. Because we should probably mention Disney Plus is releasing 2 chapters a week leading up to May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, which I honestly like. From what I saw, is that like I said, I think that whatever the child's name who probably survived Order 66 because of course I feel like Ma is definitely gonna use her definitely as a weapon because this is Maul we're talking about.
But you're
But
talking about the pink Twi'lek girl?
yes, that girl.
Yeah, I don't know her name. I know her like old man frog Jedi guardian said it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, but anyway, it's just I thought I felt like whatever's gonna go on in the in episode 2 is I thought like it's making Moss seem a lot more dangerous and a lot more
Calculating?
calculating. Yeah. But I also think is that this cop like the cop. I really, I'll look that up later myself. But
Yeah,
I
and
think,
I'll put like text on the screen that says it.
but I also think whatever his name is, I think he might be a bit. What's the word I'm looking for? Yes, a bit over his head.
Yeah, and like they think Maul is Imperial, but he's not.
No, he's worse.
Yeah.
You might, because I know his droid partner was like, "Hey, we should probably let the Empire." He's like, "No, we can handle this." No, you can't.
This guy has two lightsaber blades and the dark side of the Force.
Plus, he also has two Zabrak brothers, good twins. One of them always carries a fucking minigun.
Were they Zabrak or were they? I think I saw a Night Brother there.
Yeah, I think he like, dude, he has Zabrak and he also has Bandos. I'm like, Mandalorians. I'm just like, you
Yeah,
want to mess
one
with
of
that
them,
guy?
I think one of them, isn't that like Sabine's mom or something?
I think so. But it's also just like you're telling me that if I'm a cop in Star Wars, that and you find out about all the shit he's done, that you find out, oh, okay, this guy has two Zabraks, Mandalorians backing him up. You want to go after that guy?
Yeah, not a great plan.
What's your thought on episode number 2? The floor is yours.
It was interesting, like Maul trying to persuade Pink Tweet, like I'll put her name on the screen somewhere, to join him. Like that's what he's trying to do.
But he's also not wrong when he says like, you're a bad guy. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm a victim in all this. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm a victim.
I'm a victim of all this.
Same as you. He's like, what are you talking about?
I think the Twi'lek will either die, or
Yes.
since she is force sensitive, be recruited by the Empire to be an inquisitor.
Yes.
Because she escaped from Maul's base at the end of the episode.
That is true. Yeah. That she did. Unless that, but considering this is Darth Maul, what if, and I'm just thinking crazy here, is that what if Maul knew that that was going to happen?
Well, to be fair, it's just Maul. He said in, I think, Clone Wars, not just Maul or something like that.
Yeah, I personally think that whatever. Do I think that this is only gonna get? From what I've seen in these first 2 episodes, is I think it's a solid show. I definitely would recommend to watch it. But I think that stuff is honestly only going to get. I think we've only just seen the tip of the crazy iceberg.
And of course, this show is the brainchild of Dave Filoni, who I'm not
Which
mad about.
Which, by the way, he has said that he's gonna bring some of George Lucas stuff in this.
Yeah, maybe we'll get like a Thrawn trilogy thing and get to see a little bit of Mara Jade.
Yeah, I doubt it, but
I mean, Thrawn's already been introduced in live action.
true, true. I think
I've
whatever.
also heard that Filoni's gonna be mainly focusing on like animated series. Because for those who don't know, like we have Mando and Grogu coming home, and that's live action. Ahsoka season 2 is gonna be the final season of Ahsoka,
Yeah,
and then I haven't heard of any other live action Star Wars plan.
yeah. And then my thoughts overall on this show is, I think we had a good opening start. I think the story. I mean, I just hope that they can get us to care about these other characters, honestly. But like a reason for us to actually get invested into these random characters. But I'm very intrigued to see how crazy these lightsaber fights are gonna get in this show.
Yeah, if we get any lightsaber fights, like yeah, in the like pre-episode one thing, they said that like the Empire is hunting Maul. But we don't know if that means Inquisitors. We don't know if that means Vader. We don't
Or
know
all the
what it means.
above. Or it
Yeah,
could
it
just
could be
be.
all the above.
Yeah. Yeah, any more thoughts?
Not really. We've yapped your ears about random disconjoined Star Wars stuff for like 21 minutes. So why don't we just end it here? We'll give like probably after the final two episodes drop, we'll give like a overview of what we thought of the series as a whole.
Yes.
But for now, we'll be right back with topic number two. And we are back with topic number two.
Yep.
The results of Stand and Deliver 2026. I bet you can't get on my case about that because it's a yearly thing.
Yeah.
I know this has a punishment. I just forgot to delete that. There's no punishment for this. So we're going to go in order that we predicted as per usual for this when I host these at least. The first match we predicted was for the North American Championship. Miles Bourne versus Johnny Wrestling. The match was okay from what I remember.
Yeah. I thought the match. It wasn't the best Johnny match, honestly.
Yeah, could be better. And Miles Bourne was the victor, meaning I got that point.
Yep.
The second match was the tag team titles, where it was the Vandy Project versus Los Americanos.
What was that? I thought that was one of the best matches of the night, honestly. And I'm glad.
Like, I hate to say it, we
I
might
thought it
be
was one of the
sleeping
best matches,
on
but it
Royal.
wasn't. I thought it was one of the more back and forth matches of the night.
Yeah, I hate to say it, we might be sleeping on Rayo and Bravo Americano, but we know
Yeah.
underneath they are Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates, so we're not really sleeping on them.
Nope. In the end, Vanity Project.
Retain.
Yes.
After that, we did the Women's North American, Tatum Paxley versus Blake Monroe.
Yes.
And just so people aren't confused, I know Blake entered with the title, but Tatum is the champion. Blake just won't give it back to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tatum retained.
Yep. The match was all right.
Yeah, the match we predicted after that was the triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship.
That match was solid. That match was match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, I had Lola, Travis, Daniel had Kendall, and JC was the wild card. And Lola Dos Belts is now a thing that I can say.
Yeah. She also made history by being the first Cuban champion in WWE history.
Cuban American champion. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure she's mixed or something.
Yeah.
Alright,
Anyway.
those were all the ones that we had labeled, except for the NFC Championship, Fatal 4-Way, Joe Hendry, like the shirt I'm wearing, and versus Tony D'Angelo versus Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page.
Yeah.
I was confused about Ricky and Ethan's tactic.
Yeah. That was kind of a weird strategy because they were beating the crap out of each other, but then they would team up, but then they would beat the crap out of each
No,
other.
the part I was talking about was when they were double pinning.
Oh, yeah. That was weird.
Like, it's smart to work together in a fatal 4-way, don't get me wrong. I just knocked something off my back, so I'll pick it up later. But, boys, there's only one NXT championship.
Yeah.
And because you two were being so confusing, it's now run the voice of Tony D'Angelo.
Who is defending it next week against the Page?
Yeah, and this means that, to my knowledge, Tony D'Angelo is a Triple Crown champion in NXT.
Yes, because he said he was the first. I'm like, yeah, well,
That doesn't sound right, but I'm just gonna ignore it.
yeah,
Anyways, we had 2 matches that weren't labeled because they were non-title matches. Sol Ruka versus Zarya. Neither of us got that one right.
yeah,
And then we had the 10-person mixed tag. Birthrights versus Hank and Tank, Shiloh Hill. I think it was Eli Knight. I'm not sure about that one. And Ren Sinclair.
yeah.
God, that's a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, that actually happened on the kickoff show. I
Which
know
no,
that because I watched it.
but also I'd be like, but also I just want to say this is that hey WWE, and I know no one is gonna listen to this, but it's like maybe give us a heads up.
Yeah, I thought I'd tune into it just to see what the full match card was and see if any matches got added last minute or something. But instead, I got surprised at one of the announced matches happening on the kickoff show, which is something, or countdown to whatever, which is something that is very rare in WWE these days.
Yes, yeah,
But that got me the victory, or maybe, let me count. Yeah, I had 5 points. You had one because we both picked Mandy Project,
right.
and I can
Yeah, yeah, anyway, yeah,
that that
overall,
that's what we had for this episode. Sorry, you were saying?
overall, I mean, like, what is your, okay, let me ask you this, because this is, before we say our final thought, the thing is that, what are your thoughts about how NXT was streaming on YouTube? The biggest show of the year was being streamed free on YouTube.
I mean, it's more convenient for people. They don't have to sign up for Peacock.
Yes, I honestly think it's a good place for WWE to do streaming, do their pay-per-views if they choose to. Not their main roster. No.
Just like NXT and Evolve.
Yes,
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the relationship with MSNBC has soured because we got that Shawn Michaels documentary coming to Peacock.
yes. But overall, that's it.
Yeah, that's all we have. Thank you for listening to episode 220. This episode, who knows when it'll come up on YouTube, but follow us on our social medias, link in the description below. Subscribe to the website, link is also in the description below. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. When Travis is working on PLE weekends, I will be streaming my live reactions on YouTube. Be on the lookout for those. It'll only happen during baseball season.
Mhm.
We'll be back next week with more debates and discussions. But until then, the Executioner and the Unbreakable Spirit will still be at odds.